A look at what's ahead.
The main event tonight is on the political stage.
Should be a lot of fun.
In tonight's Republican presidential debate. A beating on camera in South Florida.
Beat me up in my eye, my nose. My head is still traumatized.
Leads to a state and federal lawsuits. And a fresh catch.
I was immediately enraged.
How a fisherman was caught in the middle of a controversy for what he was able to reel in. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Kenneth Bueno.
I'm Pamela Correa. Today is Wednesday, August 23rd, 2023.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
Debate night. Most of the top Republicans trying to win the White House will be there, with one very big name missing. The frontrunner in the race will not be there, opting instead to participate in a recorded interview with former Fox host Tucker Carlson.
While former President Donald Trump sits out, the other 8 leading candidates for the Grand Old Party's nomination, led by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, will slug it out on stage in Milwaukee.
Milwaukee playing host to this first debate of the presidential cycle and also to the Republicans' convention next summer in a nod to Wisconsin's role as a pivotal battleground state in the general election. 8 Republican hopefuls taking the stage tonight, and the party's frontrunner will not be among them.
They've been working crowds in early primary states, but tonight...
The main event tonight is on the political stage. At the time, Milwaukee is part of the story, and I think that's good news.
So we got the first debate in this whole shebang we're going to be able to do. It should be a lot of fun.
Republican presidential hopefuls get a national platform.
The truth is, many people in this country didn't even know who I was 6 months ago. So this is a good opportunity for me to introduce myself to the country.
8 candidates met the Republican National Committee's criteria for the first debate of the 2024 cycle, including former Vice President Mike Pence, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson, tech entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy, and North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum. For some candidates lagging in early polls, it's an opportunity to start a conversation.
I think what the American people want to see is, what's your plan for the future? Are you strong enough to be able to implement them?
But the candidate not on stage will still loom large. Former president and party frontrunner Donald Trump confirmed Sunday he will not participate in tonight's debate. His rivals trying to seize the moment to break through, especially those sharply critical of his legal tangles.
That's the case that has to be made, that we have to have a different direction for our party and for our country if we're going to win.
And Trump has already taped an interview with the former Fox host Tucker Carlson that is set to air as counter-programming to tonight's debate. Tomorrow, he is expected to head to Atlanta to surrender at the Fulton County Jail on charges in the Georgia 2020 election subversion case. In Milwaukee, I'm Karen Kafa.
When living in South Florida, mosquito bites are inevitable, particularly in the summer. Yet precautions must be taken. As CNN's Mandy Gaither reports, a new case of the old disease has been reported.
For the first time in 20 years, cases of malaria acquired in the U.S. have been reported this summer in Florida, Texas, and now Maryland, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The new Maryland case involves a different parasite, which can cause more severe illness than the strain that caused the other recent cases.
The risk remains very low for not just individuals in Florida, Sarasota County, but throughout the entire United States. The risk is very low.
That's what the CDC had to say in July, and the risk is still extremely low, according to the agency's website. Maryland health officials say the state hasn't seen a case of malaria that wasn't related to travel in more than 40 years. But since the disease is spread by mosquitoes, state health officials are encouraging people to use insect repellent containing DEET, to wear loose-fitted, long-sleeve shirts and pants outdoors, and use screens on windows and doors. Symptoms usually appear 10 days to 1 month after the person was infected, but can take up to a year to develop. Those symptoms include fever and flu-like illness, chills, headache, muscle aches, and fatigue. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Lawsuits are being filed against 2 police officers in South Florida who are accused of beating a man in 2019. John Monroe was 62 years old when he was beaten by two West Palm Beach officers in November 2019 during an alleged trespassing incident. Now, Monroe and two attorneys are filing both state and federal lawsuits against those officers for using excessive force. Monroe described his physical and mental state after suffering the attacks.
Very sick. I got my nose still a problem, my eyes, because he beat me up in my eye, my nose. My head is still traumatized, you know. It's a nightmare for me. I can hardly do anything for myself. It's a nightmare for me, but I'm trying to cope with it. I have to. I need the system to be right. The system is too crooked.
Monroe, now 67, says he hopes to get justice.
FEMA's disaster fund is running out of money. As CNN's Reed Binion reports, there is growing concern amid a record-setting year for weather disasters.
We know that we have enough money to continue to support the ongoing life-saving efforts.
FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell says the agency's disaster fund is running out of money. Amid growing concern the funding could lapse if Congress doesn't pass a spending bill, a FEMA official told CNN.
As we do our analysis and we make our reports to Congress monthly, we take into account situations just like this so we can make sure that we always have enough funding.
However, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell has indicated he expects Congress will approve more funding for FEMA.
We'll be authorizing in the same bill, in all likelihood, considerable increase for FEMA.
It comes as the agency pushes forward with the response to Maui's devastating wildfires in a year that's setting records for billion-dollar weather disasters before the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season has even arrived, and as hurricane and tropical storm activity is already causing damage. Tropical Depression Harold plowing through Texas after making landfall as a tropical storm Tuesday morning. The storm pummeling the state with high winds, heavy rain, flooding, and tornado warnings as it pushes towards Mexico. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Being at the right place at the right time can save lives. An Ohio police officer became a hero after saving a family from tragedy. While on patrol near Cleveland Thursday, the officer spotted a fire inside a home and quickly jumped into action by grabbing a hose to put out the fire and yelling at the family to get out.
Today is the day to celebrate a sandwich that originated in Cuba. Cuban sandwiches have a long and complicated history in the U.S. Some say they were invented on the island, but others say they were created here. It's a toasted pressed sandwich stuffed with pork, ham, Swiss cheese, pickles, and yellow mustard. Many South Florida restaurants are offering Cuban sandwich specials, so you may get a deal. The Marlins looking for revenge out on the West Coast.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
The dolphin was probably ill to be caught like that, and to put that kind of stress on an animal really is horrific.
A photo featuring a dolphin being held out of the water goes viral. Now we have an update. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
is a family man. He invests his money wisely and provides a good life for his children. Just one problem. He often opens emails from senders he doesn't know, and his computer is not password protected. One day, Bill checked his bank account and 94% of malware attacks originate from emails. Don't be like Bill. Take your cybersecurity seriously.
Snapshot scandal involving a man in Florida and a dolphin. A picture of a man hoisting a dolphin out of the water in Jacksonville was met with significant backlash, not only by residents, but also by the law.
WJXT and Maxwell has more on the outrage started by just a single Instagram post.
A photo of a dolphin hoisted out of the water, posted on Instagram last week, and then, according to Kevin Beaugrand, shared with more than 100,000 people on a surfing account. That's where he says he saw it Saturday night.
I was immediately enraged.
Beaugrand is a surfer and bartender who lives in Jax Beach. He says he wanted to do something when he saw the picture.
It's a crime against nature.
According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, feeding or harassing dolphins violates the Marine Mammals Protection Act. It's against the law to disturb their behavioral patterns or injure them in the wild. Jacksonville University marine science professor Dr. Quentin White says holding a dolphin out of the water could hurt them.
The dolphin was probably ill to be caught like that, and to put that kind of stress on an animal really is horrific.
He says marine mammals need buoyancy to breathe, so hoisting a dolphin out of the water can make it really difficult for them to draw breath.
It may not survive. You know, you didn't mean to do that, and we won't know probably for a while whether it made it or not. So it was pretty horrific when I saw it. A lot of animals, people don't realize it. They catch them and I want to take pictures, and they put them back in the water and they die because they're not used to being out of the water.
Beaugrand reported the photo to several agencies. NOAA and the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission are now investigating. If prosecuted, violators of the Marine Mammal Protection Act could face civil penalties of up to about $34,000 or criminal fines and up to a year in prison.
That was Ann Maxwell from WJXT reporting. A sad update to the story. Near the bridge where the photo was taken, a dolphin calf was found dead. The FWC is looking to see if it matches the dolphin in the picture.
Despite a tough last few weeks, the Marlins remain in the wild card race and above 500 after a much-needed win on the road versus the San Diego Padres. Right fielder Jorge Soler set the tone early in the third inning with a solo home run, and the hits just kept coming. Despite a rough outing in the first game of this series when they allowed a grand slam home run, Miami found a way to respond by keeping the Padres scoreless. The final score was Marlins 3, San Diego 0. The Fish stay in Petco Park as they wrap up the series today at 4:10 p.m. You're watching Newsbreak. We'll be back in a moment.
Radcliffe Art and Design Incubator is the velocity accompanying the fellow's rudder, as in a boat. Unless there is movement or action, the planned direction is of little consequence. We encourage the creative ideas into action, and from the experience of doing, we critically assess the feedback, adjust, and set out to rediscover the potentialities of an entrepreneurial mindset.
Stan,
precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Kenneth Bueno.
I'm Pamela Correa. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.